Oh yes. Oh, it feels good to be holding this camera again. Now, I know I've been away for a little bit. Bruh. And I will update you guys on everything in today's video. We've got so much stuff to go through. But I did say in the last video that we uploaded, I needed to take some time off just to recoup some funds so then I can come back to YouTube again. Now, although I haven't been active building cars, I've been very active at the car shows. So in the first segment of the video, I'm going to rewind to what happened straight after Ultimate Dubs, because I have been filming, taking pictures, going to tons of events, so there's still a lot of things that I need to catch you guys up on. After that, stick around because we're going to be getting some more work done on the Mark II Golf in preparation for a big update I will have in this video. We've got lots of stuff to go through, lots of positive things have been happening that you guys may or may not have known, and I can't wait to get into the video. So if you enjoy the video and you're missing the channel, you just give this video a like and subscribe. Sit back, relax, and let me know what you think at the end of the video.
So as you guys will know, the first show of 2025 started off better than I could have ever imagined. With its debut show after installing the wheels, exhaust and boot build, the Mark II won 2 trophies at Ultimate Dubs. You guys would have already seen this, but this is when I stopped uploading, so let me catch up with what's been going on. The week after Ultimate Dubs, I was invited to do an interview with Dean where we go into more depth on our builds. Definitely check out the Drivers HQ channel for the video. Fast forward till April, where I was prepping the car for its second show, GTI Festival. I decided to trim my steering wheel the night before, which was going absolutely phenomenal until I scratched the paint right at the last minute.
Until we got to the very last trim and I ruined it. So basically what's happened is I was putting these pieces on and then I put this one on and it just scratched the paint, and tried my best to repair it, but it looks like it's just not going to go very well. As you can see on the sides, it's just reacted and it's just not going well.
And with less than 12 hours to the show and no paint left, it was literally an emergency wrap job just to get it done. After that, I started fixing multiple paint defects around the car that's been annoying me for absolutely ages. Next, I made these cushions to help promote my social media when I go to shows. With all the last minute prep done, we made it to the show. Here's a small montage of what happened on the day. Luckily though, the Mark II won a top 20 trophy,
a 91 Golf in white.
So we're now 3 trophies down with only 2 shows attended. My mind was blown. As if that wasn't enough, the Mark II was featured on Performance VW for the May 2025 issue. A magazine that's fueled my car passion for decades has come full circle as one of my creations is now in there. Absolutely insane. The success from Ultimate Dubs was still popping up as it caught the attention of Matt, who does photography and videography for Airlift Performance. So we shot a bunch of social media content, which was so much fun. A couple weeks later we hit May, which was hands down the busiest month for car shows I've ever done in my life. I went to 5 shows, which was Stamford Hall. The week after that was Edition, where the Mark II unbelievably picked up another 2 trophies, one for top 25 and Maguire's sponsored choice. The week after that was a local VW mini show and the Mark II won yet again and received a Best Interior award. Riding this car show high, we hit 2 shows in less than 11 hours with a Saturday night show at the Drivers Collection till late, then back up in the morning for Tucked where, yep, you guessed it, the Mark II won another goddamn award. This one was Sponsored Choice Trophy from Chicken George. Although it would have been lovely to win a year's supply of food though. With no breaks in between shows, I went straight into June for Click 53 where the Mark II won a People's Choice Award. Honestly, I've been massively humbled and so appreciative from the organisers of the shows for choosing the Mark II and for the people for being so positive. It's been an unreal experience and I'm living my 18-year-old dream right now. Anyway, no time to breathe because I was prepping the car the week after for another local show. As we speak, there's another 3 more back-to-back shows till the end of June. That's 9 weeks in a row. I'm physically drained, but I'm having so much fun doing so. In between all of this, I've been doing the odd trim job, getting back into full-time work. I'm working on getting my life back on track. So now you've all been caught up, let's bring you back to the present day and continue the vlog. So recently I've been invited to display the Mark II Golf at Belgium at a major car event called Vag Nation. And obviously I said yes. But it's one thing building a show car, but when it's old, keeping it mechanically sound and on the road is another task in itself. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I've been neglecting this car
since the start of the show season, mainly because we was planning on doing an engine swap, so everything in the engine bay I've pretty much ignored. But the problem now is we're going to be doing an almost 7-hour trip just to get to Belgium. So in today's video, we're going to be getting the car prepared for Vag Nation. It is literally in a couple of weeks now. We've got 2 more shows until then. 2025 is the year of rebuilding. We've had a couple of ups and downs, but the main thing is to acknowledge when something's gone wrong, make some adjustments, and try and make an improvement. And that is exactly what I'm doing. And that is what I'm doing on the car. We need to make some improvements and we need to do some maintenance. So let's crack on. Alright guys, so the first job, we're going to be spending some time in the engine bay. We're going to be replacing as many coolant hoses as we possibly can in the kit that was provided. We've had a couple of breakdowns because coolant lines have burst and split, leaked all its coolant everywhere, and it's overheated. In keeping with the maintenance, if we replace all of the coolant lines, we shouldn't have any issues going forward. Let's crack on.
Bear in mind this car is 34 years old and covered over 100,000 miles. The coolant hoses have seen tens of thousands of heat cycles, gone through 34 summers and winters, and have naturally degraded as rubber normally does. So let's get them all replaced. Luckily I checked them as I noticed this hole. First job is draining all the coolant out, so we go to the lowest point in the cooling system, which is the bottom radiator hose. I removed both clamps and pulled the hose out the water pump side, seeing as this is the lowest part. Once the coolant is drained, I removed the whole hose, seeing as it was almost out, and replaced it with a brand new one. From there I started replacing all the coolant hoses that was in the kit. It all came up to just over £62, so definitely a worthwhile and cheap thing to do. Looking at the old lines, I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did. Listen to this. Yep, that's the rubber on the inside going brittle and crumbling away. This could have easily burst or even broke pieces of rubber off on the inside and blocked the cooling system. So definitely a good job I'm doing it now. Now they've all been replaced, I can put fresh coolant in. At this point I'd normally flush the system with water, but I completely forgot. Anyway, now I can bleed the system, making sure all of the air is out. To do this, I run the car up to temperature with the cap off. During this time, I'll squeeze the coolant lines to force the air out that may be trapped. When the car is up to temperature, I'll feel all the hoses to make sure they're hot. This confirms the thermostat has opened and the coolant is circulating throughout the whole system. I'll also put the heaters on. This confirms the heater matrix is circulating coolant as well. I then confirmed all is good, no leaks, air is bled out of the system, and I have heaters. I can call that a job well done, and moving on to the next task.
So come tomorrow, we've got a local show to go to. So in the morning, as I'm driving there, I will just keep an eye on it, make sure, keep topping up the coolant. I'll take you guys with me tomorrow, give you a quick montage, and then we'll crack on with some more bits because we have got lots more to do in this video. And we have landed at Woollerton Park for Motorfest. It actually went last year, and it's funny looking back at the photos because we didn't have those wheels on. So it's always nice to look back and see how far the car has came. And this year obviously we've got the exhaust boot build and the wheels to show off this year, so we'll see what happens. It's always a decent turnout here, to be fair. I've came way too early. Last time I came, most people were already set up. I don't really like being too early, but it is what it is. I'm absolutely knackered. I didn't really sleep much last night, but let's show you a little montage of what's going on today. I'm not going to put the camera out too much because today you guys want to see Mark II building. So let's show you what we get up to, and let's just have a good day. I forgot to get the name, but I've just took my first photo with one of my subscribers, and he's probably watching right now because he's just said he's been watching the Mark II build. I was so surprised because nobody has asked me for a photo yet, and he was the first one. And I always say I'll remember the moment, and I forgot because he walked off and people are starting to talk to me. But if you're watching, put in the comments down below because I want that photo. Send it to me. Right people, that is one show done and dusted. I've got to say the organisation of this one is absolutely dreadful because we've been sat here waiting for all these cars. Absolute mess. I want to go home. Cars have been sat here idling. I've checked it once from the coolant hoses. It seems to be holding its temperature very well. Good golf. I will see you tomorrow for some more progress.
Seeing as the weather was so bad, I always give the car a rinse and a dry. That sitting water and dirt is a fast track way to a rusty Mark II, so I spent the extra time to keep it in decent condition.
Before we get into Mark II progress, I want to give a shout out to Top Don for sponsoring today's video with their new product, CarPal. I've been using the RT Diag for a while now, which is more of a workshop tool, but the CarPal is a more DIY scanner on the go, cheap and cheerful, and gets the job done.
It plugs right into your OBD2 port and connects to your phone via Bluetooth, letting you diagnose your car literally anywhere. Using the CarPal app, you can read and clear fault codes, view live sensor data, and check battery voltages among a bunch of other features. What's great about this is you're already carrying a phone to use as a display screen. You just need the dongle, which is much easier to travel with. You can also check battery voltage straight through the app, which is handy if you've got a battery drain issue or weak starting. I love that it's lightweight, there's no subscription fees, and it is so cheap. You could easily make a bit of cash on the side plugging people's cars in. It shows real-time data graphs so you can monitor various components and sensors while you're driving to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Whether you're monitoring live data, hunting down an engine management light, or resetting the service light, this just makes it so much easier. And cheap. It works on pretty much any OBD2 car, so if you've got a driveway full of projects or you're helping your friends with their cars, you can quickly scan and clear codes without hauling a chunky scanner around.
If you guys want a CarPal, click the link in the description below and use the code at the bottom of the screen right now to save yourself some cash at checkout.
If you're buying the CarPal after Sunday the 3rd of August, there's no discount code needed. You just follow the link and the discount will already be applied.
A big thank you to Top Don for sponsoring this video. Anyway, let's crack on with the Mark II.
The next job was replacing this boot seal. As you can see, it is absolutely destroyed. In fact, it's so bad, Ben actually felt sorry for me, so he bought me a new seal for my birthday. So I ripped the old one off, put a new one on. Easy job. Next up was replacing this vacuum line. All I needed to do was remove the 2 Jubilee clips and I can swap it for a new one. The right hand side repeater was broken. I think as I've been cleaning it, I've knocked it off, which has broken the clip, but they're cheap enough, so let's get a new one on. The day after, I went to another show, Sanctioned. Based in a football stadium, it definitely gave a different vibe comparing to the other shows. I was up at 4 AM for a 2.5-hour trip down to Bristol, so you can imagine I'm like a zombie coming home. Good news is this is the last show till we go to Belgium, so now I can get some proper preparation done, ready for the Mark II's biggest road trip in my ownership.
First thing we're going to be doing is checking the engine bay, so making sure all of the bolts are tight, nothing is loose, nothing is leaking, and if it is, order some parts for it. The coolant pipes I know is good because we did a 2.5, well, we did actually 5 hours driving yesterday, so I know that the coolant system is all good, but it makes sense just to go over everything again. Then we'll go underneath.
I didn't spot anything alarming, which is good news, just a few bolts that needed a tighten. Getting sidetracked while checking over the car, I cut my wiper arm bracket in half. Reason being is I've smoothed the original hole, and normally there's a bung that clips into the bracket underneath, so I was getting an annoying rattle from the bracket. The aerial was also tucked into the scuttle panel when it was having the smoothing done. I think this contributed to the rattle as well, so I cut it off, seeing as I used my phone anyway. Now the bay is good to go. I did a nut and bolt check on the underside, just making sure all the bolts are tight and there's nothing that needs attention. While I was there, I decided to clean the barrels. Being white wheels, these are the worst type of wheel to maintain. They're just terrible, guys. Just, yeah, don't do them in white. And the worst thing about these wheels are I can't actually clean the barrels from the front as well, so I have to remove them every single time just to clean them off. And every time I drive the car, we get so much brake dust as well. So yeah, I've learnt my lesson. I'm not doing white again. The next job on the list was the service and a couple of other bits. I've only ever changed the oil in this, and that's because the engine tried to blow itself up. So let's get it all done at the same time. First off, I got the oil drained. While the oil was draining, I removed the oil filter. After that, it was replacing the spark plugs. Easy enough on these engines as they're right at the front. I just did one at a time so I don't get confused. Now the oil's drained, I put the new sump bung on with a new washer and screwed on the new filter, making sure the seal is lubricated. Although it already had a lifetime performance K&M filter on, I decided to swap it for a brand new OEM one. It's not like horsepower matters with this engine anyway. Next on the list was replacing the carb seals. I started off by removing the carburetor itself. I then replaced the diaphragms on the side. I could only replace one though, as the other one didn't fit. After that, I replaced the paper gasket in between the carb and adapter plate, then built it all back up. Being this close to Belgium, I didn't want to fully dismantle the carb and mess something up, knowing me. So I ended up just doing the ones I was comfortable with and sending it.
Service is all complete. It is running. It seems to run better and worse in both respects, but we've done as much as we can. The service kit is all in, oil level is good, exhaust has now been tightened, that is all good. Tomorrow will be the last day we have until Belgium. Sadly, I'm at work, so we're gonna have to spend another whole evening spannering because we've got a linkage kit to put on, which you guys will see in a minute, and then buttoning up a couple of other things. But I'm going to get all of my stuff charged, everything is going to be prepped, and there's going to be a separate vlog for that, so I don't know whether it's going to be next week or either way. You'll just have to make sure you're subscribed. So let's get tomorrow sorted and hope this work ends, because I need to rest, and then I've got 6.5 hours driving the day after. Why do I do this to myself?
Well, it's because you love working on cars and doing car stuff, so stop complaining and get to work. The next job, as I mentioned, is replacing this linkage here. It's responsible for helping me change gears. The problem is there are multiple bushes sat near the exhaust, so over time these break down and cause a sloppy gear knob. Luckily you can buy a whole cage on eBay with 4 of the bushes already installed, so you don't need to swap over the individual bushes. There are more bushes to be replaced, but these are the main ones that failed, so I'm only doing these at the minute. First off, I got the old one out by removing the short shifter and loosening the pinch bolt holding the cage to the gear knob. As you can tell, the old one was absolutely destroyed. 3 of the 4 bushes were missing and the last one was a few years past its sell by date. Before I put the new one in, I made sure to lubricate any areas of friction. Now I can get the new one lined up. Using this tool I can centralise the gear stick. After that I can put it all back together, making sure everything is all good to go. What an easy job that is.
Look at the sweat. We're less than 12 hours away. I've just disassembled my entire linkage system, and note to self, I should already know this, but being a pattern product, aftermarket if you will, things don't fit great. So I had to make a little tweak to the bolt holes, and where the short shifter bolts in, there's a little bit of play. But we're going to feel what it feels like now. Top piece that was actually broken, and the bottom actually, that's been sorted, so nothing bad can come of that. It's just what can come of fitting a cheap aftermarket kit. 2, 3, 4, 5, neutral, reverse, second, first, fourth, fifth. Nice. Road test was pretty successful. I gave the car a good rag in. Everything seems good. We have got a small noise on the exhaust. I think the exhaust is touching the rear axle a little bit and the alignment is slightly off. Am I bothered about a tiny exhaust? Off center? Yes, but don't worry about it. Tools all packed away, some spare coolant lines, some spare microfibers, and I'm going to take 2 widow makers down there. I'm going to put the center caps on because there's no point on taking them off, and then these 2 run up ramps I'm going to take just in case. Then it's just packing suitcases and finding a way to make this work, because I don't want to wreck the boot build. Next vlog will be Belgium. I just hope everything goes well. I'm just manifesting positive things. I've done as much as I can. It's literally into fate's hands right now. God only knows what's going to happen, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe, and tune in next time for Belgium. Peace. And I'm now getting a steady. The great news is after that, stick around because we're going to get
the lower bottom radio. Blah, 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 blah. At this point I'd normally flush the system with water. Do 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 do. Doopy doopy. Me. Getting sidetracked while checking over the car, I cut my wiper arm. It also matched. The aerial was also tucked into the skull. Now the oil's drained, I put the sump bung on with the new washer and screwed it on. You also need this tool. Doobie-doobie-doo.
That was anticlimactic. Click the link in the description.